The story starts with an exciting battle in the village of Lag, where the village soldiers are desperately trying to defend their homeland from the ash monkeys or macaques. Kai finds himself facing one of the powerful monkeys alone, begging his leader Mansu for help. But just as Mansu arrives, the monkey knocks them both down, and Kai finds himself completely surrounded by the rest of the macaques, with the monkey about to attack him. Just then, a swordsman named Olha appears, the eldest son of the kings of Vazan, who possesses the power of the earth, preparing to eliminate the monkeys. He activates his power, and a symbol appears on his face, proving he is a bearer of the chosen power. He quickly charges at the monkeys, taking them out one by one, leaving Kai and the other soldiers completely in awe of his ability and immense strength. However, one of the monkeys appears with the same symbol, seeming to be a chosen monkey, and a battle ensues between them. But Ola easily defeats it, leading the rest of the macaques to begin fleeing from this losing battle. The soldiers raise a symbol of victory. The fight was fierce, and many soldiers were injured. Finally, the villagers get some rest. At this time, some soldiers begin extracting the cores of the monkeys, or what they call the earth stones, from the dead macaques. Olha is the first to drink from these stones, gaining more strength because of it, and then the others also drink the liquid inside, which leads to an increase in their overall spiritual energy. It's clear that consuming the core of the earth stone makes a person stronger and boosts their spiritual energy, just as we've just seen. Kai wanted to get another stone to become stronger, but Mansu wouldn't allow it, saying they were just ordinary soldiers unworthy of such privileges, and that the rest of the stones would be sent to the castle, where the vast majority were reserved for the chosen wielders like Olha, according to what he told Mr. Basco. He adds that making the strong even stronger is how stability is maintained, and he tells Kai he should accept this too, that this is how the world works. Kai was already a teenager and felt extremely frustrated, but accepted that ordinary soldiers like him should become stronger without relying on any outside means, so he didn't bother asking for more stones again. Later that night, a celebration is held at the home of Chief Moloch, where the leader thanks the soldiers and everyone for once again protecting their village from the attack of the monster-like beings. Then he begins a very long speech expressing his gratitude to everyone, which annoys Mansu, who whispers to himself that they should let them eat now. Eventually, they get a chance to eat. I can't help but notice the disparity in the amount of food each person receives. It seems those who contributed the most in the battle, like Mansu, got more food, while those who didn't contribute much or at all, like Kai, got little or nothing. I'd say this is fair in a primitive world, although Kai disagrees and wants to eat more. However, he knows he will only be able to do that if he trains and becomes stronger and manages to contribute more in battles. With this goal in mind, he starts training late that night, but he is so weak that he can barely swing the stick before collapsing, saying he's weak just because he's extremely hungry, and he screams he desperately wants to eat a rice ball. At that moment, Mansu appears before him and asks what a rice ball is. Kai wonders that too, saying that the word suddenly came to his mind. He doesn't know what it is, but he feels it must be delicious, even though he's not even sure if it's food at all. Whatever he says makes no sense to Mansu or even to Kai himself, so he decides not to think about it anymore and shifts Mansu's attention to the cemetery in front of them. The well-kept part of the cemetery belongs to those who had families, while the distant graves are for people who had no one. Like Kai, he says that people like him will never be remembered, and no one will cry for them, and they will be forgotten, but he doesn't want that to happen. He wants his existence to be remembered, and that's why he decided to become strong to survive. But there's something inside him whispering that he will need true superhuman ability to become strong. When he shares this thought with Mansu, the latter begins to suspect that this boy might have suffered a head injury during the previous monkey battle, since he's saying really strange things. At the same time, in the castle, Olha and his sister Jose get into an argument. Jose wants to learn to fight just enough to protect herself, but Olha completely rejects the idea because their father had also refused it, saying that no woman in their family has ever learned to fight. He is the type who believes that women were created only to stay in the kitchen. Jose has learned that she can't change his primitive mindset, so she doesn't bother to continue the discussion with him after he leaves, saying that if she were a man, she could fight. Then we see Kai training hard with Mansu in the village, but when Mansu delivers a strong blow to him, something strange happens. Kai begins to fall to the ground and suddenly finds himself drowning underwater. Afterward, tongues of fire erupt inside him, and his surroundings change, finding himself in modern-day Japan. When he opens his eyes, he is completely amazed by what he sees, wondering if he has just been transported to another realm, continuing to fall while trying to grasp the very air until he suddenly feels something strange wrapping around his hands. At that moment, he wakes up from the bizarre dream, questioning whether what he felt was magic. However, he doesn't actually know what the word magic even means. Mansu looks at him worriedly, but Kai brushes it off and claims he's totally fine. Still, Kai secretly wonders why he keeps seeing memories he knows nothing about over and over again. Apparently, things like this have been happening to him for a while. While walking with Mansu, he was deep in thought when in one of these strange memories, he saw a group of rice balls for the first time. For now, he tells himself these are just involuntary fantasies, but of course, he hopes that this magic he felt is the superpower he needs to become stronger and wishes he could use it in his upcoming battle. In the castle, a messenger eagle arrives with a message from Moloch, informing him of a horde of orcs appearing to the west near the village of Banya. Ula says that if the battle will be there, then Moloch should head over immediately to end it. However, Moloch is concerned because the soldiers have not rested at all, especially since they just finished a battle. Despite this, Ula insists that they are just doing their duty and must defend their land without question. Moloch's father finds this response worrying, saying it shouldn't have been said since the soldiers are all from the village. In the soldiers' camp, Kai continues to think about fire magic while trying to stay awake. When Mansu asks him what he's thinking about, Kai replies that he was just thinking of his dreams. Mansu suggests that maybe they aren't just dreams, and tells a story about a monk who was in a dark place without fire, but managed to create fire from his finger, which he used as light. Hearing this story shocks Kai, and he asks if it really happened. Mansu says it's just a story he heard. Kai feels so excited he can't find the words. The next morning, Kai rushes to a secret place to try out the finger flame technique he heard about, and all the way there, he wonders if it's real. He believes that he can achieve it as soon as he directs spiritual energy within him. For him, gathering enough spiritual energy will ignite the flame. After reaching a spot where no one can see him, he starts trying, but unfortunately, his attempts are useless, and he continues without achieving any positive results. Since this technique doesn't work, he begins to think about how to gather spiritual energy. He starts to feel a flow of spiritual energy in his heart, and he tries to release the flame again, but this also doesn't work. He keeps trying repeatedly, still without success. Then we shift to a different scene where the orcs are mercilessly slaughtering the weak soldiers, using their bodies as paths. In the soldiers' camp, they discover that the orcs are watching them from the forests. Because of this, they send some soldiers to stand as guards in the woods. Shortly after, they feel the orcs approach and inform the others, leading to escalating events as the battle begins. The soldiers attack the orcs who charge at them to kill them. Kai fights back, attacking and stabbing the orcs. Suddenly, a body of one of the soldiers lands on him, leaving him stuck and unable to defend himself from the massive orc that was about to kill him. Just then, several arrows fall, knocking the orc to the ground. Luckily, Mansu shows up in time with some other soldiers to save Kai's life and reprimands him for his reckless behavior. Unfortunately, Kai is injured in the leg, shocking Mansu. Meanwhile, Ula is taking down orcs without mercy, causing the remaining orcs to become scared and start fleeing. At this moment, Kai can't stand, and when Mansu tries to help him, they turn to see some orcs hiding behind them. Kai asks Mansu to leave him and save himself. Mansu considers this a silly request and continues to help him as they both try to reach safety. To support their escape plan, the other soldiers decide to scatter. However, one massive orc keeps pursuing them slowly, as if mocking them, and Mansu realizes that the orc is deliberately trailing them slowly for its enjoyment. Due to his complicated situation, Mansu has to leave Kai behind to save himself, a decision that Kai completely understands, saying he would do the same. Kai starts using his spear to help himself escape while trying to unleash fire magic. Suddenly, an orc's knife cuts him, knocking him to the ground, and the orc charges from the forest, grabbing Kai by the neck and is about to kill him. But Kai is determined that he won't die today. He tries to use his spiritual energy to unleash fire from his finger, and sparks begin to appear. He declares that he will survive no matter what. Thanks to his strong will to live, he finally manages to direct his spiritual energy, releasing flames that burn the orc's face and knock it away, allowing Kai to escape from the orc's grip. Kai stands up, excited because he finally gained fire magic abilities. After that, Kai tries to leave but sees that his hand is still on fire, and he panics immediately. All the methods he tries to extinguish the flames fail, and soon he collapses to the ground from exhaustion. The continuous flow of fire consumes his energy, and he thinks of a way to stop the flames before he dies. But while he's thinking, the orc regains consciousness and approaches him slowly. Just as Kai realizes this, he discovers a way to stop the flow of spiritual energy within him, and indeed the fire stops. However, it's already too late, as the orc grabs Kai in his weakened state and starts to carry him slowly towards the edge to throw him off. At that moment, Kai realizes he will die but insists he won't fall alone. Before the orc throws him off the cliff, Kai pulls out his sword and stabs the orc in the chest, and both of them fall into the river. After that, we see that Kai managed to survive and made it to the shore. When he looked to the side, he found the monster lying dead on the ground. He then tried to reach it, and when he did, he took out his earth stone because his magical energy had run out. He drank the earth stone, and his spiritual energy returned. After that, he went to rest, saying that this was the first time he had drunk a whole earth stone by himself. He had a wound that kept bleeding, and he thought he was going to die. Kai looked at the beauty of nature and said, "At least I'll die looking at such a beautiful view like this, but I really don't want to die." Then he lost consciousness. After that, we move on to the rest of the warriors who are tending to each other. Then we see that Mansu is sitting in front of the forest, looking at it, and it seems that he was waiting for Kai to come out of it. Then one of the villagers came to him and said, "Where is the new person who was with you?" Mansu couldn't answer. The purification man had been eliminated. So the man said to Mansu, "Forget about him, this always happens." But Mansu was angry and felt guilty. After that, we move on to Kai, who had been sleeping all night. When he woke up in the morning, he said that he thought he was going to die because he had severe wounds. But when he looked at his wounds, he found that they had completely healed. He wondered if this had happened to him because he drank the entire earth stone. But he said, "Even if I drank it all, this is also impossible." Then he looked at the stone he was leaning on and found that it was covered in ivy. He said that it made him feel nostalgic. When he removed the plant, he found that there were strange inscriptions on the stone behind him. The entire stone had inscriptions, so he tried to use firepower to remove the plant completely, but the power came out in a very large way, which made Kai fly away and fall to the ground. When he looked at his face in the water, he found that he had a tattoo like the Chosen Ones. When he went to see the stone, he found that it had strange inscriptions he had never seen before and did not understand. After that, he decided to go to a cliff to climb it so he could return to the others. But while he was climbing, the tattoo appeared on his face again, and one of the stones broke, causing him to fall again. When he tried to grab the stone he dropped, he found it was smooth, but it broke in his hand from the power that came out involuntarily. Then he heard a strange voice saying to him, "Go and try." He tried to turn right and left, but he didn't find anyone. The tattoo was still on his face. Then he tried to climb, but this time he used his speed and was able to climb the place quickly and lightly, which shocked him and made him say, "Did I really do this?" After that, he started walking in the forest and said that this power is much better than the magic he wanted. He was saying to himself that this power is like the power of the guardians. It goes to chosen people. When and how did I get one like them? But all he was thinking about was that if he became a chosen one, he would eat and drink as he wanted. He was thinking and saying that he might be a non-chosen one, even though he got this tattoo. So he decided to keep the matter a secret until he understood what was happening. After that, Kai returned to the rest of the villagers. When Mansu saw him, he was very happy. After that, life returned to normal. Kai was working as usual and plowing the land for so long that he didn't realize it. When one of the people called him, he said to him, "How long will you continue to work?" The rest of the people were sweating from exhaustion, while he didn't feel anything, and didn't even realize that he had done all this. But he thought that the tattoo had appeared on his face, but when he looked at the water, the tattoo was not visible, which reassured him. After that, they started sitting down to rest. One of the people said to him, "What's wrong with you, Kai? How did you become so strong?" Kai didn't know what to say, but he said to them, "During the battle, there were a lot of dead orcs in the forest, and no one took their earth stones, so I took them and drank them all." They were shocked by what he said. He said to them, "I was injured and hungry and couldn't control myself." Mansu said to him, "I understand now why you have become so strong." Then he continued, saying that he heard that many people's strength grew quickly because they drank a lot of earth stones. Then Mansu said to Kai, "It seems you got the strength you wanted." There was a girl named Elisa looking at them in amazement, and it seemed that she was attracted to Kai, which made the other girls laugh at her. After that, we go to Josie, who was asking about the preparations for their town. The worker said to her that although their town is not fertile, thanks to the king and his power, they have been able to make good progress. After that, we return to Kai, who went to a faraway place away from the supporters to train again. When he tried to release his power, it came out strongly this time too, but he was controlling it and saying that this time he doesn't feel that his energy is being drained. He was thinking, what is this power that I got? Is it really like the power of the Guardians, or is it a different power? But suddenly Princess Josie appeared and saw Kai, who tried to hide his power, but she saw it. When he tried to escape, she grabbed him and said to him that she wouldn't leave him until he told her everything. And indeed, Kai told her. She said to him, "Am I understanding the matter correctly? You heard about a fire power and tried to try it, and you succeeded?" He said to her, "Yes, that's what happened." She said to him, "It seems that you have the qualifications of a power user." Kai was surprised by this and said to her, "What is a power user?" She said to him, "They are the people who have the ability to use skills and powers impossible for others." Then Kai said to her, "So this is power and not magic," which made the princess wonder about the word magic. But he said to her, "Don't worry about it." Then the princess said to him, "But there is something strange. You don't seem to be tired from using the power, and I also heard that you have become stronger than before because of drinking earth stones." Then the princess said, "I understand now. You are fine because you have more spiritual power than ordinary power, and I am sure you will be stronger in other aspects, so I want you to train me," which shocked Kai. But they actually started training. The princess was strong, and Kai was saying to himself, "So this is the power of the guardians." Then the princess activated her tattoo, and it fell automatically. "Is this the limit of your power? I want you to show me your real power after drinking all these stones." Kai said to her, "I accept this challenge." After finishing the training, Kai looked at his face and found that the tattoo hadn't activated. He said, "Looks like I didn't give it my all in this training." After that, he went to the princess and, hesitant to ask, said to her, "I thought all the wardens were equally strong." She told him that she was still weak compared to her father and brother, and also that not all wardens have the same strength. Each one has a different level of power. Therefore, she had to train to increase her strength. He almost told her that she didn't need to train because she was a girl, but that made her angry. She said that she also had to train because she had a duty to protect the land, and a time would come when everyone would have to fight. Even though the wardens would be the main factor in winning battles, there were other reasons for victory as well. After that, the bell rang, signaling that it was time for everyone to wake up, so the princess wanted to leave so that no one would see her, because she didn't want her father and brother to know that she was training. Kai tried to ask the princess what she meant when she said that the wardens' duties weren't just about winning battles, and that the wardens had other tasks. The princess told him, "I wish I could tell you more, but I can't now." Then she said to Kai, "I have an idea. I'll be cleaning the monthly tomb soon. What do you think about coming with me?" He said to her, "A tomb?" She said to him, "The tomb in Ada City. I'll arrange things so you can come with me. Shall I tell you the rest of the details there?" Then she left him and went. After that, we see the soldiers and Kai with them, going to Ida City. One of the soldiers said to Kai, "Are the rumors true? Our squad was specifically requested to accompany the princess because she requested you." At that point, Mansu said, "It's impossible that the princess doesn't know about Kai in the first place," one of the soldiers said, "but some people believe these rumors." All the soldiers were looking at Kai with suspicious looks. After that, they arrived at the city, and one of the soldiers said that this city used to be under the rule of King Moloch, but the king was forced to abandon it due to frequent attacks by the demi-humans. "But there are tombs here, so we shouldn't neglect the dead." Kai was looking at the city and saying that it was destroyed. The soldier told him, "It used to be thriving in the past, but it has become barren." Kai said, "That's because no one cares about it." The soldier replied, "That's not the only reason. No more resources reach this city, so it has become like this." After that, the princess came to them and said that she wanted to take a tour of the city. The soldier, who we learned was named Flynn, said that he would accompany her, but the princess said to him, "No, this boy will accompany me," and she meant Kai. After that, Kai went with the princess until they reached a specific place. Kai was asking what they were doing here. The princess told him, "Relax," and used her powers to nourish the land. Then she said to Kai that she was praying that blessings would reach this city because only the wardens can do this. Kai was surprised by this statement. The princess continued talking and said, "Blessings and resources no longer reach this city because it has become deserted." The princess said, "Because I am weak, I cannot fully nourish the city. All I can do is preserve this group of roses." Kai said to her, "What do you mean by weak?" She told him, "There is an example of the village we live in. All the blessings reach it, and the crops grow well because of my father's strength. Because it is very important for the ruler to be strong so that the crops grow well. That's why my father never needs training, because he must maintain his strength and become stronger." "Do wardens drink a lot of earth stones too?" At that point, Kai said, "I understand what you meant when you said that the wardens must remain strong, not just to win battles." After that, Kai and the princess returned to the others, and one of the soldiers said that they would go down to the basement. When they went down, Kai saw a stone that resembled the stone he saw in the valley. When he touched the stone, he found that he could read it, but when he went to the other side, he found that he couldn't read these words because they were individual words and didn't form a sentence. When the princess asked him why he was talking to himself, he said to her, "Nothing." After that, we see some macaque monkeys watching what's happening. Then we go back to the princess, who was being spoken to by Kaid, who said to her, "I didn't know you wanted to become strong for Aida City." She told him that she dreamed of making Aida City prosperous again when she became strong because she felt responsible for this land. That's why she decided to become strong and take back this city, and she would plant many crops and make many people live in it. "This is my wish and my responsibilities in this life." Kai looked surprised by the princess's words, and there were some soldiers who heard this too, and were motivated and wanted to join the princess in this matter. After that, Kai understood the extent of the responsibility that lies on the shoulders of the wardens. He says to himself, "What is the responsibility that lies on my shoulders?" At that point, a soldier came to warn everyone and told them to get out quickly because there was an enemy attack. They laid out the plan and began to organize their ranks. The princess wanted to fight too, but Flynn told her that this was not possible. "Our responsibility is to protect you, princess, and you must return safely to Lag City." The princess was about to say that she was one of the wardens, but Flynn said to her, "Forgive me for my words, princess, but you have no combat experience," which shocked the princess. Then Mansu took the princess to take her to safety. At that point, the enemy began to appear and began to attack. While the princess was escaping with some soldiers, a monster appeared in front of them and trampled on the flowers that the princess cared about, which made her angry. When they tried to attack the monster, another one appeared. The princess tried to gather her strength, but fear was evident on her face. At that point, Kai intervened and knocked the monster to the ground. The other monster was about to hit the princess, but Kai went to him and killed him with great skill. During his attack, his tattoo appeared, which the princess saw, and she was shocked by what she saw. We moved to Josie's father's office. He told Alla that she recklessly charged towards the enemy only to paralyze herself with fear, which is ridiculous. But he thinks she now understands that women don't need to fight. Josie said to Alla, "But women can do anything." Josie's father said that what happened doesn't matter. What's important is that Josie is safe. He told Alla that what happened was a lapse in the defense of the area and informed him that an inspector from the Central Plains is coming soon. Alla said, "Okay, I'll inform the soldiers." When Alla left, Josie apologized to her father. Her father asked her, "Is the boy's name Kai?" Josie was surprised. Her father told her that he is a new recruit who can defeat a macaque alone, right? And that he's excited to see what he does in the future. Next, we move to Kai as he unties a monster's rope. Some friends came to him and one grabbed him, asking, "Were you a hero in Ada Village?" Kai said, "No, I was just desperate." Another friend said, "I heard from Akiza that you and Josie were on good terms." The friend holding him said, "Come on, tell me. I think Josie smells very nice, doesn't she?" Kai said, "I don't know." Then Mansu came to them and said, "Why are you slacking off?" One of the ladies said, "This boy might be the only promising person," which caught Elsa's attention. The lady said, "It seems Elsa is impressed with him." The other lady said to Elsa, "Then you should get him soon, or another woman will get to him first." Elsa told them, "It's not like that." After that, Josie came to Kai and asked to speak with him privately, which attracted attention. People were also wondering about them being together. After they went to a place alone, they were spied on because people were curious. Kai asked Josie, "What do you want to talk about?" Josie said, "Thank you for saving me in Ada Village. I didn't thank you enough, but now I thank you from the bottom of my heart." She told him about the power symbol appearing on his face when he attacked the monster, and said it was impossible. She also told him that she froze when she realized that just being strong isn't enough, and that she needs skill and a brave heart to use it. Therefore, starting tomorrow morning, she will train hard every day until she gets the power, and wants him to join her too. She asked him, "Do you understand?" He said, "Okay." After that, Kai went to chop wood and said to himself, "I'll start training with Josie tomorrow." Elsa came to him and offered him a hot drink. He was very surprised and asked her, "Is this for me?" Elsa said, "Everyone asked me to give it to you." Kai said, "Thank you, I'm very thirsty." He drank it and said it was very good, which made Elsa happy. Then Elsa's sister asked Elsa to help her. Elsa said goodbye to Kai and left. After that, Mansu joined Kai and told him that spring had smiled on him. Kai told him, "It's not like you think." After that, Kai heard a bird sound and started looking for it in the sky. He said he had heard this sound before in the forest and wanted to go there. Next, we moved to Kai and the others' dormitory. Kai heard the bird's sound again, which woke him up from sleep. He left the dormitory room and headed towards the forest. He jumped high over the city wall and then moved quickly, saying he was like the wind. After that, he jumped into the water and floated on the surface without drowning, saying he really liked this valley. After that, he saw the bird that was making the sound and asked it, "You're the bird, right?" After that, the bird landed on a large tree, which surprised Kai. Kai went to this tree and there were many writings on it, but Kai said he couldn't read what was written. He asked the tree, "Did I survive this wound because you protected me? And if that's true, I didn't thank you enough for that." After that, he wiped the writing on the tree until it became clearer. After that, he moved quickly, and while he was running, he said that it was dark, but he could see clearly. He went to the water and drank, and then picked fruit from the trees. When he ate it, he said it was very delicious. After that, he lay on the rock and said that this forest was fertile with water and food and said, "I wish I could live here." He said, "Then I should build a house here." After that, he climbed onto the rocks and moved to the top of the lake. He approached the trees and said, "The first step is cutting down the trees." He added, "I think it's difficult to do that with this knife, but maybe I can use my magic." He created fire from his hands and tried to cut the tree, but he ended up burning it. After putting out the fire, he said, "I must use another method. Since I created fire from my hands, there must be another way." He paused for a moment to think and said, "I must turn what I imagine into reality. So, I must imagine." He placed his hands on the tree and said, said, cutting anything means breaking the bonds between the molecules. After understanding how to cut, he was about to completely cut down the tree, but he heard a sound that caught his attention. Behind him was a group of monsters talking in a strange way. After that, he saw a group of people who wanted to enter the valley. He immediately went to them and asked, "What are you doing?" One of the people approached him and pointed a knife at him, speaking to him, but he didn't understand anything because he was speaking in a language strange to him. Then an elderly man approached Kai and asked, "Do you understand me?" Kai said to him, "Of course." The elderly man told him that his name was Boric and that he was the leader of the Koror people. Kai said to him, "So these are the Koror people? I've never seen them before, and you speak the language of humans fluently." Boric told him, "This is because of our frequent interaction with merchants." He informed him that humans consider their crafts to be valuable trade goods. He apologized to him and those with him for entering this forbidden area without permission, and told him that they came here to beg and request the old agreement with the Great Valley. They pleaded with him again, and believed that he was the king of the valley. Kai told them to stop. After that, Boric said to Kai and told him that since ancient times, the Koror people have lived peacefully in the forest to serve the valley. But a few days ago, the orc pig soldiers attacked them to seize their lands. He told him that their weak race could not face them, and that they had been driven out of the land they had lived in for years and were now fleeing. He pleaded with Kai to save them from these pig monsters. Kai asked Boric, "What does the king of the valley mean?" Boric told him, "It means you possess great power that surpasses all monsters and protects all creatures." Kai asked Boric, "Is that me? But I don't know anything about this, and it's impossible that it's me." One of the Koror said, "I also don't believe he is the king of the valley. We used to serve this king a long time ago, and he was a fierce warrior who imposed punishments on evildoers. I don't think this small person can be a great or legendary figure." Kai got very angry and asked the man, "Who are you calling small?" Boric said, "I believe this man." He informed them that he had entered the valley as a child without the king's permission, and this is what he received as a result of that. Kai asked Boric, "What did you receive?" He told him, "Since I cannot see the light of the sun, but there are many things I can see." He informed him that this world is full of spiritual light and told Kai that he is rich in a noble blue spiritual light, and he can immediately recognize that he is the king of the valley and responsible for protecting it. Kai said, "I am the king of the valley? Is this true?" Boric told him, "There is no doubt about it." After that, Boric informed Kai that they had presented gifts to the valley and told him that he had presented Troy, his granddaughter, to the valley and that she had dedicated her life to the valley. After that, Kai moved to some of the Koror people after they had lowered Aroi, Boric's granddaughter, with ropes. But suddenly, the rope was cut, and Kai ran quickly to save her. He found that she was bleeding and said, "I must help her and heal her." He said to himself that he could do it. After that, he said, "I must imagine how to heal her," and he imagined this and succeeded in healing her. After that, he asked her to rest and said to himself, "So magic can heal wounds." After that, he heard a cry for help from the rest of the Koror people and said, "I think those are the orc monsters." He moved to the top of the lake. The orcs were attacking the Koror people, and one of the orcs was about to kill a girl from the Koror, but Kai intervened at the right moment and killed him, which made the rest feel happy. He turned to the other orcs and asked them, "What brought you here?" But the orc became angry at Kai, but Kai heard a voice telling Kai to kill them and asking him to plant fear in them. Kai said, "This is the voice of the king of the valley." He looked at the tree and noticed a light there. When Kai prepared to attack, Boric joined him and told him that he was also carrying a mandate and would help him, and that he would not be an obstacle to him, and that all the Koror people were loyal to protecting the valley and were also loyal to him. Kai said, "Then I must do something for them now." The orc leader ordered his orc soldiers to attack Kai, but Kai eliminated them with a blow from his weapon. After that, another orc soldier tried to attack Kai, but Boric intervened and eliminated him. Kai said to Boric, "Are you okay, old man?" Boric told him, "This is all I can do, and I will leave the rest to you." Kai said to him, "Okay." He picked up a weapon from the orc's weapons and advanced towards the orc leader and said to him, "You have defiled the valley, and I will not let you leave alive." The orc leader said to him, "Wait, this is not an attack on you. It is a problem between the orcs and the Koror, and you should not interfere." Kai said, "This is my business." He informed him that they had entered this valley without permission, and this makes it a problem for him. The orc leader said to him, "Then we will leave," and asked Kai to forgive him. But a blue light shone from Kai, and he said to the orc leader that he would kill him for the sake of the valley's peace, because this valley belongs to him. The image of the king of the valley appeared behind Kai. The orc leader said, "He is the king of the valley. I ask you for forgiveness." But the king of the valley did not agree, but the orc leader attacked and almost hit him with a strong blow, but Kai cut off the orc leader's hand, which made the orc leader feel severe pain. The orc leader tried to attack Kai again, but Kai directed a strong blow at the orc leader, which led to his heart being pulled out of his body. One of the Koror said to Boric, Boric. He is certainly the king of the valley. Boric told him, I felt the blue flame when I saw him for the first time, and it is constant and unchanging, and also grants mercy, and that he has shepherded the world since ancient times, and that he is indeed the sole controller of this valley and can do anything. Boric said to Kai, this heart is the special stone of this beast. Kai said, I killed a testament holder for the first time in my life. After that, members of the Kuroru cheered Kai on and were excited for him, but he couldn't understand their words and asked Boric, what are they saying? Boric said to him, they are excited for you because you are about to seize the protection of that pig from him. Kai asked, what do you mean by seizing the protection? Boric said to him, whoever devours the stone of a testament holder absorbs the power of the earth and inherits its protection. Kai asked, is that possible? Boric said to him, normally, this is true, but one cannot obtain protection from more than one stone at a time. He told him that he could consume great power and that he should exploit that to enhance his strength and also so that he could continue to protect the valley. After that, Kai cut the heart in half, poured the liquid into the other half, and gave it to Boric, telling him that it was his share. Boric asked Kai, are you sure? Kai said to him, you help me with this too. After that, they both drank this liquid, and then they both felt a slight pain because this liquid was very strong. A spirit came out of Kai, and he asked, what is this? Boric said to him, it is the guardian of the earth, and when the liquid from the heart is drunk, the spirit of the guardian goes to its grave. After that, Kai felt severe pain and said, my own stone is hurting me. Boric said to him, this is because of consuming the stone of the testament holder. After that, Kai said to them, don't worry about me. He went and told them that he would return to the valley and that they should get away from this place. He jumped down the valley. After that, Kai dreamed of a nightmare while he was sleeping, and he was facing the evils, but he woke up. When he woke up, he found Boric's granddaughter, Aroi, in his arms. He immediately moved away from her and asked her, what are you doing here? Aroi said to him, good morning, master. Kai asked Aroi, did you put this on me? She said to him, fearing for him from the cold, and that Aroi was very worried about him, and that she had dedicated herself to serving him to fulfill all his requests, and that this was her role towards him. Kai said to her, I don't want anything from you, and asked her to return to her people. She said to him, I will not return because my grandfather told me that if I return there, calamity will befall the Kuroru people. Kai said to her, return to your people, and if you want me to take you back, I will do so. Aroi said to him, no, I will not return. She said to him, you saved my life, and it is possible that I will die without you, so I am here at your service. He said to her, you must return. He said, morning has come, and I must return home. He said to her, go to your people, and quickly left. He climbed to the top of the valley, but he met the Kuroru people, and Boric said to him, we thank you for what you have done for us and for subduing those who wronged us, and we, the Kuroru people, are at your service. You and the valley. Kai said, don't serve me. I have nothing to do with this. Boric said to him, our homeland is still being attacked by the orgs, and this makes us move from place to place, even if it is for a short time, but I ask you to grant us refuge inside the valley where we can live. Kai said to them, you just want to live here? Okay, but don't just settle in the valley. He told them that he was leaving because he was in a hurry. He left, but asked Boric to wait. After that, Kai went to the town, but Josie said to him, you're late. Where were you? Kai said to her, I was asleep. Josie said to him, how useless you are, and asked him to start. Kai asked himself, will every day be like this from now on? After that, Josie attacked him. We move on to some farmers, including Mansu, who are plowing the land. Mr. Vizin came to them and asked them, where is Kai? Mansu said to him, he is in the castle now and has been appointed to the storehouse. We move on to the battlefield between Vizin and Kai. Kai was preparing with some exercises before facing Vizin. Kai said, I didn't want to attract anyone's attention, but I attracted the Baron's attention. After that, Bosco gave Kai his staff and told him not to use any cheap tricks, even if he was in a desperate situation, so as not to bother him unnecessarily. Kai said to him, okay. After that, he advanced to Vizin, and Vizin said to him, I have heard about you. You eliminated a group of macaque monsters. Now show me your strength. He told him not to worry and that he would not kill him, but Kai remembered Boric's words and that he must hide the power of the testament holder because not much time had passed since he inherited it, and he might be an easy target until he mastered this power. After that, Kai said to himself that Boric was right and that he should not show his power so that the mark would not appear on his face. After that, they advanced towards each other. Vizin began to strike Kai, but Kai dodged this blow. After that, Vizin directed several blows at Kai, but none of them hit Kai. The mark of power also appeared on his face. Vizin said to Kai, it seems that I overestimated you. He directed a strong blow at him, but Kai moved away and dodged this blow. The mark disappeared after that. Vizin said to Kai, I like the look in your eyes. Please entertain me more. Vizin directed a blow at Kai, but Kai dodged it. Kai directed a blow at Vizin, but Vizin broke Kai's staff. After that, Kai grabbed Vizin by his foot, but Vizin threw his own staff off and directed a blow at Kai that caused him to move away and bleed. After that, Vizin began to laugh a lot and said to Kai, "I liked you." He told him that he would train him every day after that and asked him to prepare himself. Kai said to him, "Okay." Vizin left. Josie said, "I can't believe he gave such a good performance in front of my father." Ola said that he remains a very ordinary person. Josie said, "I will be harsher with him starting tomorrow." After that, Mansu extended his hand to Kai and said to him, "The matter is starting to get out of control." Kai got angry and asked the others, "Why are you laughing?" Masnu said to him, "We will collect your remains for you." After that, Elsa looked at Kai and remembered when he was young and said that he would become stronger. After that, Kai asked himself, "Why is this happening to me?" We move on to Kai and the other's bedroom. Kai woke up from sleep and quickly went to the valley, saying to himself that Josie and Vizin were occupying all of his time and that he could now go to the valley. After that, he saw a tent at the bottom of the valley and asked, "Did the Kuroru enter the valley without my permission?" He went to the tent and saw Aroi. Aroi said to him, "Finally, you have returned again." He said to her, "Are you still here?" She said to him, "I am preparing food for you." Kai asked, "Aroi, did I allow anyone from the Kuroru people to enter the valley?" She said to him, "Only Aroi, no villagers." He said to her, "Do you mean that you did this yourself?" He told her, "I asked you to return to your people, didn't I?" She said to him, "I brought you food." Kai said to her, "The food looks delicious." Aroi asked Kai to eat as well. Kai began to eat, and Aroi asked Kai, "Do you want more?" He said to her, "Of course." She brought him more food. She asked him again, "Is the food good?" He said to her, "Of course, it's very delicious." He told her that he used to eat in the village, but he hadn't eaten this much in a while. We move on to the village. Kai took his share of the food. The cook said to him that she had given him an extra amount, which angered the rest of the farmers. They said to the cook, "Why does Kai take a larger amount?" The cook said to them, "Because you were lazy about working in the field a few days ago." She told them that if they wanted to eat, they should work hard, you lazy failures. The others said to Kai, "Why you, Kai?" Kai said to them, "Don't ask me why." Mansu asked Kai, "Luck has smiled on you, right?" He said to him, "That's not the case." While Elsa was watching the matter, she gave one of the farmers a large amount, which led to a fight between them because she had made a mistake in this and wanted to return the food again. We move on to Kai, who is heading to the valley again, cutting trees in the valley, and returning again to the village to train with Josie. He continued to work in the village and the valley and eat a lot in the village and the valley as well. But when they were in the village, they were trying to lift a large rock, but they couldn't lift it. Even Vizin came to them and tried to lift it alone and succeeded in that, which amazed the people of the village. One of the villagers said that Mr. Vizin is very terrible. Vizin said to them, "Now the land will grow well." We move on to the valley. Kai was using his magic to use it on the flowers, but he couldn't do that. He said to the valley, "I think I still have a lot ahead of me until I learn everything, right?" After that, we move on to the village. Elsa was in the field. Kai came to her and asked her, "What are you doing? And did you find anything familiar?" Elsa said to him, "No, I was just saying to myself that they are blooming beautifully this year." Kai said, "They are really beautiful, but I never thought of it that way at all." Elsa said that these flowers grew from seeds that we brought from our village. She told him that when their village burned, they wanted to preserve these flowers. "Our village is gone, but there are more flowers now, and they are strong." Kai said to her, "That's right, we came to the village of Lag from the same village." Elsa asked Kai, "Have you forgotten that?" He said to her, "No, I was young when our village burned." Elsa said to Kai, "Anyway, you are wonderful, Kai, and you have attracted the Baron's attention." He said to her, "Not to that extent, and compared to the Baron and Josie, I still have a lot to learn. I must become strong. For someone like me without a family, I must become strong. I have friends like Mansu and the others, but I always felt that I should become stronger than anyone." Elsa said to Kai that she had told him this before, and at that time he used to stay alone. She told him that when he faced the monster that attacked them after the fire in the village, she thought that he had been killed. But when Vizin arrived and defeated those monsters, he said those words. Kai said to her, "I was very frustrated at the time with the villagers who were just watching until they killed one after the other, and with myself who was unable to do anything. So I swore to become strong." He asked, "What am I saying now? I had forgotten all of this, and there is no point in such an oath." Elsa said to him, "You protected us at that time, and you have not changed at all." After that, we move on to the valley. There was a battle between the orgs and the macaque. The leader of the orgs said, after eliminating the macaque, "Now our destination is the hateful valley." We move on to Kai's tent in the valley. Aroi was making clothes for Kai and asked him for his opinion. Kai said to her that they were wonderful. Kai picked up a grain of rice from the ground and said he wished to eat rice balls. Elsa came to him, and he told her that he hoped to eat rice balls someday. After that, Mansu came to them and asked him to work harder. He was reprimanded by his colleagues at work for not performing like them, even though he actually worked harder than they did. Next, we move to Vezin, who was first trying to hide bags of rice because one of the inspectors was coming to them. First, he told Vezin that it wouldn't hurt to give the inspector a small amount of rice to gain their favor, but Vezin refused and told him that the rice belonged to the villagers, and they might not have enough later. He reminded him to always think of the villagers and their best interests. Now we switch to the workers who are busy transferring bags of rice so the inspector wouldn't catch them. They have to hide all this food. Then we move to Mansu and Kai, who are also talking about the arrival of the inspector. This inspector has the power to seize all the rice in the area and carries a very strong authority. After that, Vezin welcomed the inspector into the village and introduced himself, but the inspector didn't get out of his vehicle because he had been attacked on his way there. The guards opened the door for the inspector to get out, and he exited the vehicle. He greeted Josie and told her that she was a suitable girl for marrying nobles. He then welcomed Vezin and told him that he should expel the vermin since they had attacked him, because they had been the ones to attack him. As he continued entering, there was a knight walking behind the inspector's cart, and he had blood on him, which caught Kai's attention. Vezin stopped the knight to confirm whether he was with the inspector, but it turned out that this knight was named Nada, and he came from the Maz village and had met the inspector on his way. Next, we go to the rice storage, where the inspector saw that the amount of rice was low. He believed that this was because of Vezin's poor management of the village, which made Josie angry. She almost responded to the inspector, but Vezin apologized to him for this mistake. The inspector mentioned that there was a group of villages hiding their harvest and asked Vezin if he was doing the same, but Vezin denied that he was doing so, blaming the bad weather instead. The inspector insisted that the bad weather was a reason for him to stay in the village for a few days. Now we move to Josie and Vezin, who are alone together. Josie was very angry about the inspector staying and how he doesn't act like a bearer of the royal decree, and that he doesn't understand anything. However, Vezin stopped Josie from saying this because the inspector was carrying out the king's orders, and their village was part of the kingdom. Then we moved to Kai, who was going to Nada and told him his clothes were dirty. Then they got to know each other, and Nada discovered that he was similar to Kai due to consuming many stones, but each of them used them in different ways, gaining power from these stones. Kai found out that Nada was a bearer of the royal decree, and also carried an emblem, which one could obtain by using a small amount of stones. After that, we moved to the inspector, who had a lot of food in front of him, but asked for more because he was an inspector from the Central Plains and should be received in the best way possible. When he requested more food, the cooks were shocked by this request. We switched to the angry farmers because of the inspector's presence, which had reduced their meal portions, and they didn't want him to stay even one more day in the village due to his enjoyment of their food. Next, Vezin was informed about a group of orc monsters. At first thought they were attacking human lands, but they had a specific goal they wanted to achieve. They sent an army of orcs for this purpose, and they were on their way to the village to achieve their goal, and they could be followed to learn their aim. Nada asked Vezin to help him with this and pleaded with him. Vezin agreed immediately and told him he would send some warriors with him to help. After that, we moved to the valley in Kai's tent, where Arui learned that Kai would be absent from the valley for a period because he was going to investigate the orc situation with the priest Nada. Arui felt that he might not return to the valley again, but Kai denied this and told her he would come back because he was the protector of the valley and shouldn't leave his land since he was a bearer of the decree and had an emblem. Then, Kai went up to Barak, who told him that the orc he was going to find could be one of those they had killed, but Kai reassured him. Then we switched to the village, where Vezin sent Josie with some soldiers to deal with the orcs, and he didn't send his colleague since that was his task. However, his colleague decided to solve the problem of the macaque monsters that attacked the inspector. Elsa called Kai and gave him the rice balls he liked, asking him to take care of himself. Mansu also called for Kai to hurry so they wouldn't precede him. After that, we changed scenes to the forest where Nada was trying to find the right direction from the map he had, but he found some guards and asked them to see something. When they went, they found a large group of orcs and dead macaques, but the number of dead macaques was higher due to the power of the orcs and their weapons. They had a strong leader guiding them to do this. After learning that they were searching for something important, Nada also told them that he was searching for the same thing. Nada explained that there was a prophecy about the arrival of something powerful in the distant lands, and all the monsters were looking for it. Whoever possesses it would gain a lot of power, so he wanted to find it before them to prevent them from using it to destroy the kingdom and add it to other powerful items before they could acquire it. This thing was a wild spirit that had awakened once again, possessing enormous strength that reaches the heavens, with a nature of light and darkness, good and evil that must be respected and appreciated. Kai thought that this spirit was the spirit of the valley, and saw that these orcs were different from those they battled before. After continuing their journey, they found a village nearby that was entirely destroyed. He went to inspect the village, which belonged to the Uzeli, humanoids, but peaceful ones. weapons. They found some of them dead and their horns torn off, and they discovered some orc weapons. They inspected the area to see if any Uzeli were hiding and afraid to show themselves. They split into two teams, one team with Nada and Kai searching for the spirit's location, and the other team with Mansu, Josie, and one of the guards searching for any remaining Uzeli. Josie's team found traces of blood, and they believed that someone injured was hiding, so they followed the blood trail to find him. They came across a dead orc that fell in front of them. We now switched to Kai and Nada inside one of the dark buildings. Nada lit a fire, and was surprised that Kai didn't show any shock when he made the fire, but Kai explained that he had heard of this before, so he wasn't surprised. They found a large stone with writing on it, and Nada pulled out a book to understand the writing because he had never seen it before. Then they found one of the unconscious Uzeli. After that, they gathered all the orcs and Uzeli outside, and Nada discovered that the girl found by Kai was the protector of the Uzeli. She was a bearer of the decree and had killed the orcs using her weapon. The orc wounds matched her weapon, and it became clear that she had defended the village so that others from the Uzeli could escape and hide completely from the village. Due to the great power difference between the orcs and the Uzeli, the orcs were very strong. However, this girl managed to kill 3 orcs because of her love for her people, proving that love for one's people is a trait every bearer of the decree should possess, and that they don't fear anything at all. After that, they buried the dead Uzeli and told them that the protector of this land's decree had been stolen and passed on to another. The orcs were in another place from here, and Nada opened the map again to find out their location. He noted that there were 2 types of orcs, independent orcs who attacked this village, and another type going toward the forest, where the grave of the spirit was located. This made Kai afraid for his valley, and he asked to go there to investigate. He believed he could get there faster because he was very quick, and he set off. We switched to Barik, who found out there was a group of orcs on their way to them, and that they were close to them. Barik said he would go investigate. They moved to the forest, and the leader went there with some soldiers, looking for the macaque monsters. Then the leader saw a fire burning, and thought this fire belonged to the macaques. Of course, there were some macaques nearby, and the leader got closer to them but hid so they wouldn't see him. The leader wondered why they were building a fort here of all places. It became clear to him that their number was very large, and that they needed 200 men. The leader wanted to start attacking them, but one of the soldiers with him objected, telling him that their number was too small to fight such a large group of macaques. However, the leader believed that if he didn't eliminate these monsters after their attack on the inspector, it would affect the dignity of their village. The guard convinced him that they should withdraw now, and that they should be guided by the Baron, which made the leader angry as he retreated. Then we moved to the Uzeli village when Kai left them there and went ahead to search for the Arog. One of his friends wondered if he had found them yet, and that they relied completely on Kai, as they had not returned home until they found the Arog. Manso assured them that they would be stuck here until Kai came back to them. Josie believed she should have gone with him, and thought that if not much time had passed, she could catch up with him since she was fast enough. However, Nada asked them to trust Kai a lot and that they had nothing else to do but that. Nada assured them that Kai was in a much safer position than any of them thought and moved to fulfill his priestly duties, which was all he should do now. Then Nada performed his priestly duties, knowing that Kai would guide him on what he wanted. We then moved to Kai, who was hurrying to find the Arog. He spotted the footprints of the Arog, but there were too many, and he realized they were heading to the valley. Then Kitchak appeared and attacked Kai without recognizing him, and then the other friends of Kitchak came to him, including Barak, who was astonished by how far Kai had come. They walked together towards the valley, and Barak told him that he had knowledge about the direction of the Arog to the valley, so he decided to head to them to check their movements. Kai thought he could handle the valley if someone informed him, but Kitchak was angry because they were responsible for the valley and had established their village there, asking what was wrong with trying to protect it. Barak told him that they dedicated their lives to protecting the valley, and wanted to help him even a little because it would make them feel at peace. Then a group of Arog appeared, and Kitchak asked what they should do, and Barak suggested they advance cautiously, but Kai didn't like this suggestion, insisting that he should block their path and stop them now. One of the Arog then stopped and looked at Kai and the others, discovering their location. We then moved to the village, where the inspector threw a plate of food on the ground because it was bad and started screaming at the workers that it was disgusting. He began to scold them and told them that they weren't entertaining him, considering this a test for the village for the king. While Elsa stepped forward to clean the floor of the food, the inspector asked her name, and when she answered, he asked her to pour him some drink. However, Elsa felt extremely nervous and hesitated to do that. Then Adelia suddenly appeared to the inspector and offered him more food, pouring him some drink and wishing him to enjoy the food and drink. We then move outside the room, where Elsa thanked Adelia for saving her from the inspector. But Adelia held Elsa's face and asked her not to frown like that, telling her that the return of the person she liked would only disappoint her. The leader, along with the guards, then arrived, and Adelia wanted to talk to the guard, but he was very busy at the moment and would talk to her later. We then moved to Kai, who killed one of the Arog, and Kitchak also killed another, causing the rest of the Arog to panic and start retreating because Kai was blocking them from reaching the valley. Then the leader of the Arog, Adrakan, appeared, showing the symbol of the bearer of the scroll, which Kai recognized as a bearer of the scroll. Beric asked if Adrakan was from the Rigdaros, which was a group of exceptional warriors known for being the strongest on the land, making the northern Arog powerful. Then Kai asked them to retreat, promising he would fight with all his strength so that they wouldn't be killed by Adrakan. We then transitioned to Nada, who succeeded in finding Kai. While Kai and Adrakan were preparing to fight, Adrakan told Kai that his predecessor had died because he hadn't heard rumors about him for a long time. He said Kai should thank the Bone Chasers for tracking the Arog, as he found Kai thanks to them. Beric understood that they had tracked the Arog that Kai had previously eliminated. Then Kai attacked Adrakan and tried to strike him, but Adrakan blocked the hit and returned with another strike that didn't hit Kai. Nada was watching the fight from his position. Then Kai lunged at Adrakan again, but Adrakan blocked his attack with force, pushing Kai away from him. Angered, Kai clawed at Adrakan and emerged behind him, preparing to strike him with his spear, but he couldn't hurt Adrakan at all. Kai's spear was broken, and Adrakan nearly hit Kai with a blow from the ground, but Kai dodged this hit just in time. Suddenly, Kai struck Adrakan, causing the rest of the spear to pierce his body, knocking Adrakan to the ground, which made all the Koror happy. However, Adrakan pulled the remaining spear from his body, healing his wound instantly and grabbing Kai tightly, choking him. Beric was amazed that Adrakan's wound healed at an incredible speed for a bearer of the scroll and hoped he wasn't immortal. Then Adrakan lifted Kai high and continued to choke him, causing Kai to lose consciousness. We then moved to Arohi, who continued making some clothes for Kai and wanted to finish before Kai returned to her. Then, again, we moved to Adrakan, who was still choking Kai to invade the valley after killing him. However, Kai cast a spell on Adrakan that burned his hands, forcing Adrakan to let go of Kai, and Nada, watching this, was astonished. Beric was also surprised by how Kai managed to cast spells. Adrakan then attempted to prevent Kai from casting spells on him, but Kai didn't care and cast a fire spell on him again. However, Adrakan blocked it and attacked Kai, delivering a blow that knocked him to the ground, all because he had a strong spirit within him. We shift to Nada, who knew that the bearers of the scroll had great protection through the spirit that resided within them. Then Kai pulled out his dagger, knowing that Adrakan had tough skin and would heal from any injury, and magic was also ineffective against him. Kai wondered what he could do to him. Adrakan then grabbed his axe and attacked Kai, and then there was Elsa, whose expression showed great concern. She saw some soldiers preparing for battle because the macaque monsters were coming towards them. We then returned to Kai as he attempted to strike Adrakan. However, this blow also resulted in breaking his knife and not injuring Adrakan, causing him to fall and drop his bag, spilling the food he loved from it. The Koror were amazed by Adrakan's strength. We then shift to Nada, who remarked that the power Kai had acquired could fall into the hands of abominations. We move to Adrakan, who mocked Kai because his internal strength was not strong. Kai was furious because he needed to protect the valley. He then looked at the food and remembered several things, saying to himself that there was something else he could do. Kai started gathering his food, but Adrakan didn't give him a chance, telling him to leave because he had lost the will to fight. He reprimanded him but emphasized that to defeat a bearer of the scroll, Kai had to endure the natural laws of the world. Kai gathered his strength, and while the Arog were cheering for Adrakan to kill Kai, when Adrakan raised his weapon to finish off Kai, Kai lunged, striking Adrakan first, which resulted in cutting off Adrakan's arm. Adrakan felt extreme pain, and everyone was astonished by this. When Adrakan attacked Kai again, Kai prepared a wind blade that defied the laws of nature and directed another strike at Adrakan, resulting in a large wound on Adrakan's body, and he fell to the ground, defeated. We shift to Nada, who was amazed by Kai's use of a legendary power that no one had heard of, either ancient or modern. Then we turned to Josie, who showed signs of extreme exhaustion. While she was walking, she fell to the ground, and a large wound appeared on her foot, causing her to lose consciousness. We then returned to Kai, who was absorbing Adrakan's power. The rest of the Arog felt grief for their leader and great anger as well. Kai's power surged after he finished drinking, leading to a powerful glow that blinded everyone due to its intensity, causing the Arog to flee in fear. Then Kai lost consciousness, and the Korra moved forward to check on him. Then Kai regained consciousness and asked what had happened, but Kitchak asked Kai the same question and wanted to know what had happened after Kai ate the Adrokan stone, and that he had never seen anything like it before, but Kai thought this was an exceptional occasion. But Boric saw that a warrior like Adrakan had great spiritual power, but Kai succeeded in defeating him, and that the event that happened a little while ago was the cry of power that was inside Adrokan. But Kai wondered, surprised, does that power do this strange event? He also asked how he would use this power shower after that. Then Kai went to the river to wash, and Boric and Kitchak were with him, and he felt something strange, as if they were being watched. But Boric felt this too, but he ignored it because it was not aggressive towards them, but he could not know who it was. Then Boric asked Kai to return to the valley and allowed them to do so. Then Kai felt hungry and took out food and thanked Elsa for the food and began to eat. Then Kai moved to the village of Uzuli, and everyone was waiting for him and were surprised by his return, and one of his friends told him that Josie was injured, which made him feel worried, and he asked what had happened to her. Manso told him that she had a fever and suddenly collapsed. Kai asked again about the mark on Josie's foot. Then Nada came and he knew this mark, but he first asked Kai to tell him what had happened with the orgs. But Kai was interested in Josie first, but Nada convinced him that they would take Josie to the homes, and asked him to tell him about the orgs first. But Kai lied, and told them that when he reached them, a strange person eliminated them and their leader, who was one of the orgs wearing protective armor, and that the rest of the soldiers fled, and Kai's friends were surprised by their escape because their leader was eliminated. Then Nada asked to return Josie to the village now. Then they carried her and headed to the village, and while they were walking, Nada approached Kai and told him about the traces of blood on his clothes, which made Kai surprised, and he lied again, and said that he was stained with blood when he was crossing a pool of blood. And when they approached the village, they found the village under attack by macaque monsters, and Manso asked Kai to check the matter because they should not go to the village with Josie like this, because she was in a critical condition. Then Kai advanced to the village, and we moved to the village, which was in a state of great attack and destruction, and many dead appeared. And when Kai arrived there, he approached Mr. Basco and asked what had happened. He learned that they were attacked by the macaques, and their numbers were very large, and that they were defeated with great difficulty by the Baron, but the village was subjected to great destruction because the macaques are skilled in throwing stones. Then Kai went inside and shouted to call Elsa. Then she appeared and was helping an old woman. Then he approached her to check on her, and Elsa felt happy that he was also fine. Then we moved to Vizian's office, and they moved Josie to him, which made Vizian very worried about his daughter, and Nada tried to explain to Vizian about Josie's illness, but Vizian knew the type of illness, and that he knew who did this to them, and he also showed his son, who was suffering from the same illness, and Vizian was angry because these monkeys did that to his children. Then we moved to the macaques' place, and 2 people from the village went to monitor them, and there were a large number of macaques, and they were planning to attack again. Then we moved back to the village, and Kai helped Elsa treat the old woman, and he was surprised by the great damage that the village suffered. Then Kai thanked Elsa for her rice balls. Then Manso came to Kai and told him that Vizian wanted to see him. Then Kai moved to Vizian, and Vizian felt relieved from the org attack, but Kai felt very sad for his children and Josie too, but Nada explained to him that these injuries were the result of the curse placed on the Earth's gravestones, and Vizian told them that the macaques eliminated their best warriors and that they attacked the village, and that their scouts told him that they were planning another attack. Then Nada asked Kai to join him to break the curse of his children so that he could fight again, and that he wanted to accompany him because he trusted his abilities and strength. Then Vizian told them that they would go to the abandoned villages where every grave is treated monthly, and he told him that they must go to 2 villages to heal his son, his 2 aides, Ida and Ilg. Then Vizian grabbed Kai and told him that this mission must succeed because they were in a race against time and were relying on him. Kai agreed after looking at Josie, who was in pain. As they were going on the mission, the inspector appeared, asking for a lot of drinks. Then he reprimanded them and returned to his room, which made Kai wonder about his behavior, as he was a wheelbearer and wasn't helping at all. Then they walked, and after that, they agreed to meet at the north gate when they were ready to leave. Then Kai went to Elsa and told her that the rice balls were wonderful, and that they had saved him from harm, which made Elsa happy. Then he told her that he had to leave again, but not to worry about him. He would be back immediately this time, and after he finished this, he would take her to a special place where they could eat rice balls alone. Then Elsa held Kai's hand and told him that she was waiting for his return. Then Kai went to Nada and gave Nada something from Vizian, which would be used to break the curse. Then he asked him if he had gone to see anyone, but Kai denied it, which led Nada to inform him that he was the 2nd son of a nobleman and had studied hard, but he was not chosen as a wheelbearer. And since he no longer belonged to the household, he went to the monastery and began training daily, and his life was filled with joy and sometimes sadness, and this is what they must protect. Then they left. Then they moved to Ilg village, where its curse would be removed. Then Nada used his power to scout the number of macaques inside, but Kai felt that this was the thing that had been watching him during his fight with the orcs. Nada heard Kai when he said fight, liked, but Kai changed the subject. Then Nada told him that he learned this technique in the monastery and that through this technique, he could see anything, no matter how far away. Then he told him that there were only 5 guards and asked him to go. Then Kai attacked the macaques and eliminated 3 of them, and Nada eliminated the other 2. But Nada finally discovered Kai's truth, and that he wanted to see this with his own eyes to be sure. He introduced himself to Kai again as Nada, and that he was sent by Maz to search for the truth of power. He asked him to forgive his rudeness and asked him to use his power for the benefit of the United Human Kingdom. But Kai approached him and asked him to stop so they could lift the curse of Ilg. Then Nada removed the curse, and Kai stood as his protector. Nada told him that the United Kingdom needed a new protector, but Kai wondered if he had chosen him to come here to talk to him about this matter. But Nada told him that they needed him in the United Kingdom because the kingdom was deteriorating every year, and Gandalf was a good example of this, and that the will-bearers in the Central Plains who supported the king were immersed in luxurious matters and forgot their studies, which led to a great deterioration. If the kingdom had been in its former strength, it would have been possible to send an army immediately to regain control of the village instead of abandoning it, and the number of tragedies like the one that occurred in this village would continue to worsen, and their decaying shrines could no longer support the king. He continued to remove the curse and also told him that they must seek help from someone like him because of the fragmentation of the current hierarchy within the kingdom. And after he finished extracting the wood, he poured the blood from Vizian because he was the will-bearer of the village, and told Kai that the curse had been dispelled. Then they moved to the village from above, and Nada told him that the macaques sought to control the village after the gravestones, and the paralyzed will-bearer were so desperate that they wanted to weaken and impoverish the land, and that the macaque nation was facing a grave danger, and this danger prevented them from continuing to live, and that they were now looking for a new place to live, and the same applied to the orcs who were chasing them, and that they were threatened by strange creatures in the north, and that they needed new power to stop them. Therefore, Kai discovered the reason for sending Ardokin with the orcs, but Nada believed that with the passage of time, the human kingdom could be destroyed. He asked Kai if he could grant his power to them to save millions of lives, which led to the appearance of the will-bearer's symbol on Kai's face, which caused him to be pushed away, and he asked Nada to leave him. He thought for a moment, then Nada told him that they had to go to the other village, and that he was waiting for a response from him when they dispelled the curse there. Then we moved to Allah's room, and the traces of his curse began to disappear. Then Pasco informed Vizine about it, but he was still unconscious. Vizine understood that Mr. Nada had now succeeded in dispelling the curse, and if Allah could fight, their strength would be better enhanced. Then we moved to Nada and Kai after they eliminated the macaques in the other city, and Nada removed Josie's curse. While Kai was moving alone, he began to think and talk to himself about his strength, and that he could not use it perfectly, but if he used it to save humans, there would be no village like this again, and this might be a good way to use it. But why is the valley's power angry? Then Nada came to him, waiting for a response from him to help him, and he tried to motivate him to do this because he would be rewarded by the king if he joined them, and his strength would be further enhanced. Then he would save his village from any evil easily, and important people too, especially which led Kai to remember Elsa and Josie. Then Kai asked if there were other people he would like to protect too, but Nada knew that they were the Koror and that they were with him in the ogre battle. Kai explained to him that they were his responsibility and that he must protect them, but Nada asked Kai to abandon them, which led to Kai's surprise and anger. But Nada told him that he should not have lowly human-like followers because humans are humans and they are tested by the heavens, and the idea of associating with other people is out of the question. He pleaded with him to dedicate his full strength to the United Kingdom only. But Kai refused if that was the case, and told him that the Guardians of the Will have the responsibility to protect the land and the people who live on it, and he cannot serve the kingdom if it means abandoning the people who followed him. Nada tried with him again, but Kai strongly refused. Then Nada discovered that Kai was very stubborn, and that he would not be able to change his mind, and that he would give up and explain the matter to Maz. Then we moved to Ida village, and a group of macaque leaders discovered that the guards had been killed, which led to their anger. Then we moved to Nada and Kai, and Nada asked what was happening now in Lag village, and Kai hoped that they would not be attacked again, and that he was worried about Elsa and Josie. Then Nada showed his weapon and stabbed Kai from behind, which surprised Kai by this action. We moved to the village, and Allah began to speak, and Elsa felt worried with the onset of rain. Kai was stabbed with a deadly weapon wielded by Nada, which was inherited in the monastery belonging to Nada. This weapon is used to breach the defenses of the bearers of the mandate and drains their strength. Even if a bearer of the mandate resists, it is hard to deal with. Nada did this when he learned that Kai would use his power for his people in village, which he considered an act of arrogance and dangerous. However, Kai felt severe pain and tried to move, but couldn't because Nada stepped forward and placed his foot on him to stop him. Nada gripped him again, causing Kai to feel intense pain once more, more, and told him he didn't realize how powerful this weapon was. Nada felt jealousy because he lacked such strength despite studying for a long time. Then he pressed on the weapon, causing dark energy to escape from Kai's body, and he felt great pain too. Nada then withdrew the weapon from Kai's body and told him that the pain would last for just a moment, and he threw him to the ground. He almost lost his hands inside Kai to absorb his strength, but Kai pushed him away and kicked him to distance himself. After that, Kai healed from the pain instantly using the superpower within him. Then we moved to the village, where everyone began rebuilding. One villager asked why help was not coming from nearby villages, but since everyone was busy protecting themselves, no one sent anything over. However, Mansu had another opinion. If they failed, they would all go to heaven and cross Isbi Rio together. Then Vizan appeared and asked them to prepare because the macaque monsters were about to attack them again. Everyone listened to him, but Vizan motivated them for this battle, telling them that even if they were outnumbered, they would stand against the monsters with everyone who could bear arms, and that they would defend their village with their own hands, which increased the villagers' enthusiasm. Then we shift to Lady Adelia, who was reassuring the injured. She told them as long as they were inside the castle, they would be safe. Meanwhile, on the other side, Elsie was comforting another wounded person, and told her injured daughter that if another attack happened on the village, she should go to a safe place immediately. But Elsa intervened and told her not to be afraid because she was there with her. Next, we returned to Kai, where Nada was trying to convince him that if he died, he would save everyone at the cost of his life, allowing humanity to regain its lost power. But Kai was very angry and still felt pain, as he knew the truth of what Nada said. However, he had to protect the valley and everyone there too. He showed his weapon because he made the decision to protect them. Nada saw that Kai was about to abandon the Koror people, but Kai firmly rejected this, as he had been granted this power to protect the land and its people, something Nada did not understand. But Nada could not comprehend Kai's words, and saw him very determined in his opinion, and prepared to attack him. Then one of the macaque monsters suddenly appeared and attacked them. We switch back to the village, which was also under attack from the macaques, leading to damage in the city walls. The warriors were ready for them. Then one of the macaques threw a large rock at the village, but Vizan did not let the rock pass and destroyed it. He asked his soldiers to showcase their power against the macaques. However, the macaque monsters did not stop their attack and kept hurling flaming stones at the village from a distance by order of their leader. Back to Kai and Nada. Nada was under attack from one of the macaques, but he dodged the creature's strikes. Then another macaque beast attacked Kai, but Kai avoided its blows. Soon, 3 macaques appeared, and one of them asked who among them had lifted their curse. The other informed them that they would not leave here alive. They showed signs of the bearers of the mandate, which was difficult for Nada to fight against. But Kai was furious because they were the cause of Yusi's curse and advanced toward them, showing them that he was also a bearer of the mandate. The beast became furious when they discovered that Kai was a bearer and had nullified their curse, launching an attack on him. Kai dodged their direct strikes, but the last beast managed to throw Kai away. Then it attacked him, and Kai delivered a swift blow, pushing the beast away from him. However, Kai still felt the pain from Nada's weapon. Nada moved toward Kai and discovered that he used his wind power. Then they heard a voice telling them they would kill Kai, which made Kai very angry. Nada, who would not allow them to take the power he had found, was then attacked by one of the monsters. Nada defended himself against its strikes, but he could not withstand for long against the beast, leading to him being thrown to the ground and left unarmed. He was about to receive a powerful blow when Kai intervened just in time, surprising Nada. Then the monsters attacked them again, but Nada pushed Kai away and shot fire at the macaques, driving them off. Nada and Kai then met in a secluded place, and Nada asked why Kai had saved him despite having stabbed him in the back. The truth was that Kai's body moved on its own. Nada wondered why Kai had such strength. The macaques were seeking them everywhere, and Nada observed them, realizing they had to fight a group of monsters consisting of a priest and an injured bearer of the mandate. Kai admitted they were in a tough spot now. Nada approached Kai and suggested that if he wanted to come back alive, he should follow his instructions. But if Kai survived, he might end up killing Nada afterward. Nada ignored Kai's words and told him they would cross the bridge because it was impossible for them to die in this place. He wanted to see the extent of the power inside Kai while running toward the truth. They were almost caught by one of the monsters, but Kai quickly escaped from where he was. The monsters chased after him, but they suddenly disappeared when Kai stopped running. Then Kai heard the monster's voice speaking to him while Nada was hidden to observe the monster's hiding spots. When one of the monsters appeared behind Kai, he ambushed it, successfully delivering a blow that sent it away from him. The other monsters were about to attack him, but they vanished instantly, surprising them that Kai had also recognized their movements. Nada then used his vision power to guide Kai toward the monster's path, informing him that one of them was coming from his right. The monster almost attacked Kai, but he managed to eliminate it. Nada was amazed by Kai's strength. When the third monster lunged at Kai from above, Nada rushed to save him, but Kai delivered a blow that eliminated it. While Nada was astonished by Kai's strength, another monster attacked Kai, and Nada tried to hit it but had no effect. The beast succeeded in injuring Nada, but it was taken aback by Kai's assault, unable to escape Kai's blow, resulting in its demise. However, Nada coughed up blood and was on the verge of death, causing Kai to feel sad for him. Now we shift to the first bearer, who woke up and asked what had happened to him. He looked at Juicy to check on her, then felt an earthquake. He scolded the macaques for causing this, trying to go after them, but was stopped by his nurse due to his terrible condition. He asked the nurse Akoi to bring him his clothes and sword, so he could show them the strength of his family. Akoi was ready to do anything for him to support him. Then we returned to Kai, who was trying to heal Nada. Nada thought that Kai would kill him afterward and asked him if he could save him. Now his body was moving on its own again. Kai asked Nada to be quiet and drink a potion, but Nada saw no point in it since they had the Power Stone. His vision was fading, and he thought his search for the truth was ending in this place. But Kai did not give up and began using his power to heal Nada. Nada was once again astonished by Kai's healing spell, finding it strange. He asked Kai if the valley had also granted him this spell. Kai told him he was far from human reach and had tried to control the spirits. Nada raised his hands to the sky, wishing to see Kai's inner strength. He told Kai that at the place where he was going next, he would find Isby Rio and afterward die. Then the rain fell on them. We then turned to the village, where Juicy also woke up and was surprised to find herself in her father's room. She remembered that she lost consciousness in the Uzili village, and was approached by her maid to check on her. However, an earthquake occurred as a result of the monsters attacking the village. She told her, and Juicy thought that while they were chasing the Urg, the macaques had attacked them. The maid had a message from her father, telling her that in times of hardship, she should escape the village and save herself. Yusi was shocked by her father's words, as the monsters continued to attack the village. Next, we get back to Juicy, and the maid informed her that Vizen did not want her to fight. Juicy believed her father saw her as unnecessary in combat, and that she couldn't fight because she was a woman. She then left her room and saw many women and children outside. When she asked what was going on, the maid told her they were there by Vizen's order, but Juicy didn't mean that, and asked them to use her room so they could feel safe, because they would face the monsters and succeed in driving them away. Then, 2 guards entered the inspector's room, but they couldn't find him there. They thought he had participated in the battle, while the other believed he had escaped. Meanwhile, we switch back to the inspector, who was trying to flee, assisted by his aides. He almost got hit by one of the macaques, but dodged. The inspector cursed Nada, saying he was useless since he couldn't find him when he needed him. Then we moved to Elsa, who brought food to the warriors and wished it was better than this. But there's more, and Elsa will get it for them. One of the warriors thanked her but warned them about the danger of the place now. On the other side, the inspector ordered his assistants to open the gate so he could return to the capital. The warriors thought he was helping them in the battle, but they were surprised he wanted to go back to the capital and leave them behind. However, the inspector's assistant couldn't budge the door because it was too strong. The inspector got very angry and went to the rope, raising it to open the gate. But a warrior stepped forward and told him that Vezin ordered the gate to remain closed at all costs, because if it were opened, the macaques would come in. He asked him to stop, but the inspector stabbed the warrior with his weapon to get him out of the way, and the rest of the warriors almost charged at the inspector. But the inspector took Elsa as a hostage and told them to back off, warning them not to touch her, and that he didn't care what happened to this remote village. Even if they ended up killing each other, he didn't care at all. Then his carriage came to him, and after that, he cut the rope to open the gate, which made Vezin furious when he saw this. The inspector then ran away with Elsa, and when they tried to close the gate again, the macaque managed to stop the gate from locking, and they entered the village, facing the warriors face to face.